Okay, ignore the vomit. You didn't see that. This is the start of a speedrun for Battenberg. Probably the main reason I decided to do Battenberg again as a speedrun was because I did a speedrun compilation, all the hospitals, and the audio for Battenberg was bad because basically the music was on full, like the game volume was on full blast, so the only way you had any idea what I said would probably be if you went to closed captions. I use a different strategy in this one. I figured out that you only really need 55% cure equipment, and I'm gonna decided to do drug research right away instead of I did last time. I did 80% treatment and 20% improvements. But I realized, look, I can do the improvements later, and I'm going to have to replace all those buildings anyway. So I might as well get some drug research done. I took some advice from Habis here. He wrote in a comment to me about the way the rooms are made, and I really had some bad room placement. So now I hope he approves of my room placement. I had some of my speedruns had really bad room placements, like the way they set up. So, psychiatry, by the door. Also the pharmacy, I just decided to make like the perfect pharmacy. If you put it like this, they just have to walk right in. They walk by the door and they walk right in. It's perfect. Unfortunately, that is the only orientation for the pharmacy that is perfect. And, I practiced making some of these buildings. I did quite a few runs here for Battenberg because I'm kind of a perfectionist, I think, in some ways. Like, it's hard to do, to be like a speed run and a perfectionist, but I really wanted to do something groundbreaking. I mean, I did a good job, but I didn't I don't think it's possible. I mean, I could be wrong to do what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do was I wanted to see if I could win Battenberg 1 year earlier. And I came really close, but I'm guessing that the game algorithm doesn't allow you to do it. Right? Because even if you get because you can't beat all of the hospitals absolutely. Like, you can't be like, I got 100% of the patients are coming in no matter how well you run your hospital. You need the number of cures and you need a lot of money. I admit, what made me tempted to try was I felt like sometimes I had gotten pretty close, but it was still never enough to get the number of cures and the amount of money. Right? It just it never could get that way. Like I could never get both of them, essentially. So once I gave up on that, I was like, okay, let's just do a faster version of Battenberg with a few tweaks. And this is probably, I admit, this is an extremely clean version for a speedrun. Wow, really gonna tell you, we're very, very clean speedrun. I mean, it's not perfect, it's never perfect when you're moving at top speed, but this is super clean. Because to be honest, once I had abandoned that goal of getting there, of doing that, I just said, okay, who cares? I'm gonna win at the same year, no matter what I do. I'm gonna make this as clean and easy as I can for myself. Right? Why should I struggle?
Doctor required in general diagnosis.
Obviously so I'm gonna wait for these researchers to leave, and I'm gonna put my computer in there when they're gone. Boom, beautiful. See, then they're just gonna walk right back in. This guy wants an inflation clinic. But the inflation clinic is anyone who plays this game, the inflation clinic is like that thing likes to explode. So I decided to send him to the research room to enhance the inflation clinic to make it stronger. If you don't have the ability to build a building and you send them to the research room, it'll give you research towards building that building. If you already have the ability to build a building, then it'll strengthen the building. Well, it'll give you an improvement, I should say, not always strengthen it. There's different types of improvements. There's one where you can make it cheaper, and the other improvement is to make it stronger. This level, of course, has quite a few earthquakes on it, but I still consider this level to be less earthquake intensive, even though there are some really intense earthquakes, than Eastville. If you play level that's Hospital 9. I mean, I think that's probably like the number one hospital where your things explode on that level. I mean, I think knowing what I know now, though, I could probably make a hospital that doesn't explode on Eastville. But still, like, it really, they said it's really a bad hospital for that. One improvement to make my hospital easier to administer is I put the ward. I had the pharmacies in another building, but I decided to put the ward, the fracture clinic, and the pharmacies like right next to each other. That makes administrating the building easier because the nurses, those are all nurse buildings, right? Buildings that you use a nurse. So the nurses are all right next to each other, right? Like, so the nurses can just go from one building to the other. And of course there's a staff room right there. So they never have to leave this building. So you never have to chase down nurses, right? You never have to say like, I need a nurse in pharmacy. Where's my nurse? Nurses are all right there. I do build a staff room in every building in the hopes to try to keep people in the same relative locations, right? Like, so they don't have to move far. I just clean up that banana peel with the radiator there. It's a quick way to sweep up. You can just put a radiator on the ground and it cleans it up. And then you can just move the radiator back. I mean, it's one quick way to handle like simple ones. It works for everything except vomit. You can't clean up vomit using that. Unfortunately, radiators don't clean up vomit. So when I did play this quite a few times, I'll be straight. I did have in some cases, if I play it slower and more deliberate, obviously not speedrun wise, you can get a lot of consultants in this level. Like, you can just simply hire them right off the bat. But okay, now they want the inflation room. I'm gonna build it. But you can get a lot of consultants. This is why I keep looking. I'm like, where can I get some consultants? And I need to make sure I got enough people, because I'm doing pretty well here. At least that's what the game says. I'm doing well. Emergencies, they vary on how many people you get per emergency based on how well they think of your hospital. The bloaty head sometimes is 8, sometimes it's 9, sometimes it's 10. It was 10 in this case, which means that they think a lot of me. They like me. They think I'm doing good, right? Right? They're like, oh yeah, this is a good hospital. Let's give them 10 bloaty heads. Maybe the placement of my inflation clinics here wasn't the best. I don't know. But, I mean, it's just a quick placement. One of them is eventually going to get deleted. Right? Like, I don't need 2 bloaty clinics in the long run. But I do wait a little bit to delete them because, I mean, why not have them? Right? Who cares? You get to use 2 bloaty clinic. And while I'm away, we're working on the bloaty heads. Everyone barfs all over the ground. And now I can see some electrolysis people, but for whatever reason, none of my doctors know what's wrong with these people. I'm gonna go do some enhancements, get some cure equipment just in case, but they don't know what they have anyway. I mean, I don't know. They definitely have some problems, that's for sure. I mean, I don't know if somebody walked up looking like that. But yeah, for some reason, my doctors don't seem to know crap. And I'm just like, oh gosh. So, you'll and that was the consultants here. As I said, because if you play it more deliberate, you'll get more consultants. They will know what they have. But I think they're probably going to like the regular psychiatrist there, and he doesn't know, despite the fact that he's pretty knowledgeable. It's not like he was like inexperienced. He's probably about 75%. But oh well, he doesn't know. I was thinking of getting rid of the inflation clinic there, but then I'm just like, let's wait. I mean, if it can take more damage, right? Like it can take more hits, that would be good for me, right? Like if it can take more, not more earthquake damage, but what I'm saying is if it can take more treatments before I delete it, that'd be fine. But man, for some reason right here, they did not know anything. Like they didn't know jack. And I decided to just put it to guess it here. Guess the same as send it home. And it looks, as you can see, we got hit by a massive earthquake. It just levels everything. There's a lot of earthquakes on this level, but not as bad as Eastville, because at one point in Eastville, they do like 2 or 3 earthquakes in a row. Like it's like, they just blow everything. They really test the strength of your stuff. But yeah, I mean, I deal with the earthquakes by having lots of handymen with, you can select, between sweeping, plants and repair, and I focus on repair. But a lot of my guys, I haven't even done it yet. I haven't focused on repair yet. But everyone's throwing cans and vomit all over the ground. Just like every time I turn around, there's vomit on the ground. The joys of working retail. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, now I need slash medicine. I guess medicine in this case. See, look, there's just a consultant right there. You can just hire one right up. I'm looking and I'm just like, okay. Where for some reason I had a really hard time keeping my surgeons in line, despite having a staff room right here, where they just kept walking off. So it's that was kind of annoying, but it wasn't. In the long run, it didn't really matter. So long as I get the amount of cures I need at the end of the correct year, and I have the money, it doesn't really matter. So, don't be too hard on yourself if you're going to try to do speed run this. Don't go crazy. All right, I'm going to put my X-ray. X-ray is a pain in the butt. I just make it bigger than it has to be. It doesn't matter. Again, you make a big fat X-ray. It doesn't matter, really. Oh, there's my boy. Love that guy right there. And I'm trying to find the cheapest doctor possible to have him train like the cheapy doctors. That last one was super cheap, $111. I mean, you'd find like a really cheap doctor, and sometimes if you do a good job of taking care of those doctors, they won't ask for. A lot of times I've gone entire games and those cheapy doctors are still getting paid that. I mean, obviously it's not very good for that doctor. Like in the real world, you would probably be pissed if you were a doctor with those skills and you were so, you were getting paid 1/4 of what somebody with the same skills had. But in this game, it's desirable for me to find the cheapest possible doctor. That dude, perfect. $117. There you go. Just give me a cheapy doctor and train him up. It won't break the bank, so I can have extra doctors on the floor. As I said, I'm going to make this as easy for myself as possible, right? So I just decided, I was debating, I had a lot of extra space there, how I wanted to build that. But now I've decided, I don't really need any more diagnosis buildings. I was going to do something here, but I didn't quite see it yet. Despite the fact that all those hairy-itis people had come in, none of them had been diagnosed. And now I'm facing earthquakes. See, oh, there we go. Now I gotta load back. So, thanks again to Habis. I just decided to delete that building anyway. Habis on me. I couldn't remember the quick save. He told me what the quick save button is. Alt-S. You can quick save with Alt-S, and you can quick load right back up with Alt-L. So I will do that multiple times in this run, where you just quick save, quick load. Okay, since I couldn't get what I wanted, I decided to enhance the inflator. So you saw that I went to specialized research, and then I went to Kiers, and I went to focus my research on that specific room. That's something new, something that not new to the game, but new to my Battenberg run. And that I'm going to focus on enhancing specific rooms. In this case, I'm going to enhance this room. Electrolysis clinic. I'm going to send the first one of the hairy-itis people to that room, and now I'm going to concentrate my research on it. And I'm going to do the same thing for decontamination. Now, when they find out, of course, that I'm doing that, while I'm sending people to this room and killing them to get enhancements on these rooms, there is usually a negative backlash from see right here, auto autopsy machine has been discovered and has a negative reaction from the public. Of course, to me, I don't care too much. I'd rather have the stronger rooms. I need some strong rooms. As I said, I'm gonna win in the same year anyway. Right? It's not, to me, it doesn't matter, right? If I'm gonna win in the same exact year, then I might as well just make this as easy as possible by building strong rooms that are hard to break, right? And since I've been researching, notice I got the gut rot here, 14 people with gut rot. That is a lot of people. But I have been enhancing my drugs the entire time. Remember, I started with it by doing enhancing, improving those drugs. So I can expect that a lot of those people are who do take the dose are going to live. I mean, all of them are probably not going to get the dose though with 14. That's a lot. Yeah, only 12 out of 14 made it. But I did get a little bit of a bonus from that, $6,000, because I didn't. And of course, anybody I treated is of course good money in my pocket. All right, so it's time to make sure they take care of my machines. I've been very deliberate. I've been building kind of slower. Here, as I mentioned, I've just been focusing on strengthening my buildings, basically. And this is jelly vat. Oh God, no! I am not building that right now. Again, I gotta focus on the jelly vat. The jelly vat is one of the. Oh, I got an epidemic on cold. I'm watching to see where they are. To be honest, kind of lucky that they were already by the pharmacy. If you play the GOG, I am playing the GOG version of the game because I do have the CD of the original game, but you can barely move the mouse. It's good. You know, if I was playing slower, it wouldn't matter. But I'm doing speedruns. It's the same basic principle. Like, it's the same stuff. It's just like, it's the same game. It's just like, basically you can't move the mouse, like barely at all. Anyway, I mean, I don't know. Most people who are doing speedrunning this game are probably using the GOG version. But anyway, why I mention that is because there's like an error in the GOG version that whenever they leave one part of the hospital for another, and they have that epidemic, it just fails you. Kind of a pain. So I mean, it's kind of like I was considering even bringing out the original CD because it's such a pain in Battenberg. Because when they have an emergency and your treatments, of course, your treatment's in another building every single time. So yeah, I don't want. So it's kind of a pain in the to have to continuously fail those because it's in a different part of your hospital, but it's kind of unavoidable. I do fail, I think, throughout this run. I do fail at least a couple epidemics are failed simply because of that, but I mean, at the end of the day, like, you know, there's ways to get them out. Like you can, what you can do is you can click on them and tell them to leave, and then you can lift up or delete the reception desk. That's one way. And it'll if they're out of the hospital before the inspector comes, you'll be able to do it. Yeah, I built this electrolysis clinic a little further out than I did on my other in my other playthroughs. So I was just like, why isn't it fitting? Because every single other time I did it, it did fit. So here we go, alien DNA, and of course I have a spot. I want to put the alien DNA over here. There we go, DNA fixer. I have a plan for I planned it out this time, you know, like I planned out where things were gonna go. So it's not like I just didn't want to have to think of everything on the spot. And you know, I planned I was gonna put this DNA fixer here to block off this area. But yeah, I mean, you plan out the model of your buildings, like where you're gonna put them. But it was a little bit different this particular run. Once I just let go, I didn't care. All right, so I've done enough research on electrolysis. I mean, the jelly vat. I did enough research enhancing it. So I'm ready to build it. Okay. Yep, that's not bad. That's an okay jellyitis. I mean, the orientation of the room here is not the best. See where the second electrolysis building is against that wall? That's where I used to put the jellyitis machine. See, you want to have the stairs closest to the door, but there was no way to do it. Now this one I should be able to do it. See, I flip it so the stairs are by the door, right? So they just walk in, go up those stairs, and go into the jellyitis machine, but there was no way around it in that case where I ended up putting it. All right, now I'm trying to get my amount, get everything up to where it needs to be. And I'm gonna close this area off with buildings that I'm not gonna use, essentially. Boom. And training room that blocks that area off so that the handymen don't go in that area. Boom, there, beautiful. So now I've blocked off the handymen from going into those buildings, and now I have the size of hospital that I need. Now all I have to do is maintain it. Right? Alt S, of course, as I mentioned. I save it frequently and load it back up if something explodes. All right. Somebody just asked for a raise. Got to see what's going on. And again, I don't know. I had so much trouble with those surgeons. They just did not want to do what they were supposed to do. As I said, I was confident I was going to make it on the same year. Oh, unexpected swelling. Oh gosh. So here we go. I guess I didn't check the other rooms. They were probably so I'm going to get fined here because I didn't check the other rooms. But it didn't. Yeah, I lost $12,000, it looks like. Yep, $12,000. But I mean, it wasn't going to be but I didn't. I'm fine, obviously. As I said, if you can kick everybody out and just raise the reception desk up or delete it, whichever you prefer, you can beat those epidemics like that. All right, we're ready for surgery. Oh, she doesn't want it anymore. She walked away. Yeah. Gonna put some drink machines in. And here comes the earthquake, so many earthquakes to devastate you in this. That wasn't too bad. And see, I think I'm still, this whole time I wasn't really paying attention. I was still doing research. I'm probably still researching the jelly-itis machine to make it even stronger. Because I didn't pay attention. Now I'm just going to put anyone who's not a consultant into that room to get trained to be a consultant. But most of them are consultants, but of course I need that. I need to have at least 2 surgeons on the floor. So. In fact, I get confused here. I'm like, wait, did I take the only other surgeon? I could have sworn there was another surgeon, right? I'm like, come on now. Where is it? And I'm like, okay, take him back. I don't know. There was a 3rd surgeon somewhere, but I'm just like, okay, yeah, right here. Well, that was the trainer, and I'm like, forget it. We'll just take some cheap doctors in here and get some more. It's not really a big deal. Like, at the end, I have plenty of money. I'll have plenty of cash. Gotta put those radiators in. So after I've done this level so much, I think I'm like the master of this level now. I just sit here and wait, though. I'm waiting on some of these rooms to like some of them I just look and I'm like, oh, that one's really weak, but I don't want to replace it yet. I'm gonna wait until it's time to, like, you know, it's got the most amount of damage inflicted on it that it can possibly have before I you know, replace it, because, you know, what's the point, right? Here we go. So yeah, I buy a lot of doctors in this. Like, I just went to town on the doctors. When I was trying to do like the 1 year earlier thing, like try to win 1 year earlier, I tried to minimize the amount of doctors I had. Right? Like try to get like a small amount of doctors so that I can try to run the place. Try to like run lean and mean to try to save every dollar. Obviously it didn't work out anyway because, you know, the limitations of the game. Such a shame, right? You know, if somebody manages to do that, though, you'll be like the speedrun god. I'm just like, forget it. I'm gonna replace those because those were really weak. Yeah, you can see I have much stronger machines than you would if you didn't do like improvements. But you'd have super weak machines if you didn't do improvements. And I made sure I had plenty of machines. I even had a lot of nurses. Usually I only had 3 nurses, but because of the men, I was trying to run leaner. In some cases, I even tried to do it with 2 nurses. But I mean, yeah, just go to town, honestly. Just make things easy. And you get the victory. This is pretty much a walkthrough of how to beat Battenbergs right here. I mean, I don't think Yeah, this is like a walkthrough on how to beat Battenberg. About 54% of the population coming at me now. But what's funny is I'll handle everything perfectly after with the 54% of the population, but then they'll still drop it down. They'll be like, oh. See, look, they get the dumbest, slowest guy to go fix this machine. Like, there was a guy standing right there, but they get the guy who's the furthest away to do it. I'm like, come on now. Anyway, but yeah, I'm like, okay, get in here, get my jellyitis in here. Not that it matters that much. Look at this, the guy walks out of the room. Like, the queuing in this game is so bad. Like, what is he doing? Why is he walking out of the room? Like, the emergency's not over. Why is he walking out? Like, what, we just trying to kill people now? Like, what is going on? Like, we just trying to kill him? Like, you're in the middle of helping people and you walk out of the room? He didn't even need a repair. He just walked out. Good job, buddy. Just fantastic. Kill people for no reason. Alright, I got some researcher surgeon over here. Oh, one of the funniest strategies I used, probably one of my favorite strategies to try to do that was I put a bunch of low end, I purposely put like untrained doctors in the GP's office. Because if you have untrained doctors in the GP's office, like that's after, of course, I got all my diagnosis equipment, right? So after you get all the diagnosis equipment, I put untrained doctors in the GP's offices, and so that they have to go from the GP clinic to diagnosis to treatment instead of going straight to treatment, right? Going from the GP's office to treatment because, you know, I would get more money, right? All right now I'm trying to improve the hair machine here, the hair restorer, because it's so weak and annoying. Here we go, heaped piles. But I mean, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to stop this epidemic hitting me, but I don't even see where they were. So I'm just like, I'll forget about it. Like, I guess I passed it. I didn't even realize. Yeah. I didn't even realize that they had done it. Once again, where are my surgeons? What are they doing? Right? Tell you the truth though, like I didn't even realize it while I was playing until like way later. I put that radiator in a really bad spot. See that radiator right there? I move it later and I'm like, oh my gosh, this entire time I had this radiator in the way. And at the end of the day though, it doesn't matter. This is the fastest Battenberg on the net. Basically, this is the fastest Battenberg of anyone who's done a speedrun. I'm sure people could do faster. It's possible. Somebody makes an attempt. But this is still the world record right here. On hard, and honestly easy and medium, it's still the fastest one. Yeah, I'm the best. But here. Right here. Wow, 48% of the populace now. See, it's really kind of like, it's not like a timed algorithm. I mean, you can influence how many people come in. Like, you can influence like what part of the population will come in. Like, but 48% of a small number is way different from 48% of a large number, right? So it's just kind of like I had one where I was in, I did like the cure method, like you know, where what I call it, I guess you could call it cure method. I lowered some of the costs to try to bring people in, right? So I got a lot, and I did get a little bit more people to come in. by lowering the costs. Like, you can get more patients to walk in the door, but at the end of the day, it's not enough. Like, it's still not enough. You can't make it up with this. It only gave you a slight increase in volume, and it's not sufficient to basically make a difference. Yeah, that inflator was getting really weak. Now my hair restorer, I'm still like I think I'm still trying to enhance the hair restorer. Yep. Now I want to go research that bloaty head again because I'm tired of repairing it.
Doctor needed in hair restoration. Doctor, attend in the scanner room, please. Doctor required in GP's office.
And I'm like, okay, so now I'm going to start thinking. I sacked one of the research people and realized, okay, you know, we've made enough improvements here to get rid of one of these guys. And I want to make sure I have enough money at the end. Right? Even though I was pretty confident I would, I didn't want to risk it. Right? Like, you see how all the parameters just kind of change all the time. Like, I have the same amount of radiators in the place, but then all of a sudden it'll say radiators are not good. Like, it's too cold in here. Then it's too hot in here. It's too, you know, even though you changed nothing. Alright, I'm gonna check to see if everything's okay. I have some pretty strong buildings, so it's not like crazy. I mean, as I said, some of them do explode, but I mean, I enhanced the buildings. And that guy wanted too much money. This guy, I was debating. Oh, and I'm like, then I realized I did lose the building, so then I have to go back and load. Right, like I realized I lost a building right there. It'll take me a few seconds, unfortunately. So yeah. Oh my god, how long did I take to realize it? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I go back and I realize I lost a building and reload. So maybe lost about 20 seconds there. Realizing that I was gonna lose and that I lost the scanner. Oh well. Does this say why you're saying you could do it faster? Possibly. I mean, but these earthquakes are quite annoying. They're pretty annoying on this level. I mean, they're not like, as I mentioned, they're not the worst, but they're pretty bad in some ways. Like, come on now. Yeah, try to get these people from asking for raises. Sometimes it's so hard to click on them, like in these, like when they're in these buildings. I'm trying to kick him out so he takes a rest, but they're like, he hides behind like things. You know, and it's just like, that makes it so difficult. Like, you can kick them out of the room, but then they just run away. They run around until they get tired. That electrolyzer, I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, that's the next thing to blow right there. But I'm gonna Up, we got heaped piles. Trying to get the... My nurses are dumb, so it's just like, come on now. Don't walk out of the pharmacy. I have more than enough nurses to handle these things, you know? Like, it's not like I went like cheap on the nurses. I'm like, stop walking out.
Doctor needed in Slap Tom Clinic. Doctor required in X-ray. Doctor, attend in psychiatry, please. Doctor required in decontamination. Doctor, attend...
Yep, I'm done training, so it's not time to put that guy out there.
Doctor required in GP's office. Doctor required in GP's office. Nurse required in fracture clinic, please. Doctor, attend in psychiatry.
I still haven't moved that radiator.
Doctor required an inflator room.
Alright, up. There goes that electrolyzer. Gotta replace it. I mean, they do damage to so many buildings with these earthquakes. Like, even the strong buildings, they don't get destroyed, but they do get damaged pretty hard. And now I'm just ready to just go with general improvements here.
Doctor required in decontamination. Warning, earthquake imminent. Doctor, attend in psychiatry, please. Attention, earthquake warning. 2 surgeons required in operating theatre. Nurse required in pharmacy. Doctor needed in Slap Tom Clinic. Doctor required in X-ray. Doctor, attend in the scanner room, please. 2 surgeons required in operating theatre. Doctor, attend in the scanner room, please.
Again, what's up with my surgeons? They really did not want it to the queue. The surgeons seem to only want to queue when I take them both out. Right, like, it's kind of like the British woman the British announcer here. As soon as she says, 2 surgeons needed in the operating room, that's when they start walking forward. But if you don't hear that, they don't do anything. This dude is kind of standing there. Oh. See, I didn't even, in this one, I didn't even try. See, this is the year in which I was attempting to win, actually. Like, when I was doing it. But then when obviously I'm not even attempting in this one, because I realized I can't do it. But I was trying to win this year. And I had a lot more people cured by this time, interesting enough. But I just kind of gave up on this, like, to the end of this, trying to win in this year. Yeah. So I'll win next year, basically. So yeah, I would usually have a lot more money by the end of this year.
Doctor required in decontamination.
But I instead hired more doctors to make my life easier. More doctors and more handymen, etc. Right, to make my life easier.
Nurse required in pharmacy. Nurse required in ward. Nurse required. We apologise for the amount of hit. Doctor required in inflator room. Staff announcement. Patients with hairy-itis are on the way. Doctor wanted in electrolysis. Doctor wanted in electrolysis.
Without fail, the handyman walks over as slow as possible to repair that, and a doctor doesn't even come over in time to start. Like, I don't know what they think emergency means. Does it mean go over to the jelly vat instead of stay in the room I put you in?
Doctor required in GP's office. Doctor required in GP's office. Doctor required in inflator room.
Oh, more deaths.
Doctor required in jelly vat.
Like, sometimes the queuing just drives me nuts. And I mean, not that it mattered, but I mean,
Scanner room,
it
please.
would matter if it was probably like a shorter hospital.
Doctor,
Now it's time to sack my researcher. I just sacked him so that I have a lower payroll. And if anyone asks for a raise in this point in time, they can get bent.
office.
I don't care. Unless I have the money, unless I already have $750,000, they can get bent. Once I got the money, they can keep it.
Two surgeons required in operating theatre. Doctor required in X-ray.
Oh man, I wish one of them, I tell you, like when I was attempting to win that one year, I fired all the handymen. Hilarious. I mean, there was vomit all over the floor and everything, but the money, like the money was higher because I didn't have to pay any handymen. I'm telling you, I went all out. Like all out, I'm talking like fire every single person I didn't need.
Nurse required in fracture clinic, please.
Alright, this dude's whining about a raise.
Two surgeons required.
And he wants a raise, and I'm gonna tell him no.
Doctor required in X-ray.
Because I could give two craps right now. Look, see, I got another surgeon anyway. You're replaceable, bro.
Doctor needed in flat tongue clinic. Doctor required in GP.
And I mean, if I do it with less doctors, obviously the money will climb faster. I mean, each doctor will have to do more workload. They might be a little angry about it, so I gotta be careful. But
Surgeons required in operating.
the money will go up faster.
Doctor, attending psychiatry, please. Two surgeons required in operating theatre. Doctor required in inflator room. Doctor required in X-ray. Doctor needed in hair restoration. Doctor required in GP's office. Doctor, attending psychiatry, please.
See how it just all of a sudden randomly went down to like 20%? We're doing really well, and then all of a sudden, like you're getting a ton of people, and then all of a sudden it just drops down, and there's no rational reason why. Like that's kind of how it is. You can't keep it up to the maximum the entire time.
Nurse required in pharmacy. Doctor required in GP's office. Doctor required in X-ray. Doctor needed in flat tongue clinic. Doctor required in inflator room. Doctor, attending psychiatry, please. Doctor wanted in electrolysis. Nurse required in pharmacy. Doctor wanted in electrolysis. Nurse required in fracture clinic, please. Nurse required in pharmacy.
See, I'm waiting. I need my 750. I need some more people to start coming in. So I need my $750,000 by the end of this year. Lucky for me, the game's algorithm just kind of picks up towards the end of this year.
Doctor needed in hair restoration. Doctor required in GP's
Those alien DNA people, they pay $2,000 a pop.
Staff announcement. Incoming patients with alien DNA. 2 surgeons required in operating theatre. Doctor required in DNA fixer. Doctor wanted in electrolysis. Doctor required in DNA fixer. Doctor, attend in the scanner room, please. Nurse required in fracture clinic, please. Doctor required in X-ray.
All right, there we go. I got the amount of money I need. I got the number of cures. I got the right size hospital. And I got some extra money left over. So now I'm just gonna forget it. I'm just gonna make sure none of my buildings explode at the end of this year. Right? That means just go ahead, just replace them. If there's any question that they could explode, because I got extra cash anyway. Right? So it's just a way to ride it out till the end.
Doctor, attend in the scanner room, please. Doctor, attend in psychiatry, please. 2 surgeons required in operating theatre. Doctor wanted in...
Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching.